Imagine a safer community for our children. A place where abuse will not be tolerated, ever. A place where adults are educated and vigilant. A place that is passionate about protecting its children. That place is here, and that time is now. It's time to reach out. It's time to reach the children.
We're putting a flag in the sand, and we're saying we have zero tolerance. We're proclaiming we have zero tolerance for the destruction of our children through abuse. We are not going to allow our children to be abused anymore.
Through the Traverse Bay Children's Advocacy Center and collaborating partners, we can give children in northern Michigan a voice. With awareness and open discussion, we can create a place where there is zero tolerance for child sexual and physical abuse.
People need to know that the Traverse Bay Children's Advocacy Center is here to lessen the trauma that a child experiences as they tell their story of their abuse. And so instead of children getting interviewed up to 15 times, now we make sure that that child and their family are able to come to a space that's child-friendly and safe so that they're able to tell their story one time while everybody else is there to watch.
1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will suffer sexual abuse by age 18. In 2008, there were more than 900 official investigations in the Grand Traverse and Leelanau areas alone.
Child abuse in our community transcends whatever income level people have, what race they are, what religion they are. Child abuse can happen to anybody, to any family.
As we look at the numbers that are being reported and the cases that are being handled, we're all learning how critical it is. I've always worked with young people, and so I've been aware of the issue for many years. But even being in the midst of youth development, I had no clue that the numbers were as large as they are.
Child abuse has long been a problem and concern, and the first Children's Advocacy Center was developed in Huntsville, Alabama in 1985. There are now more than 600 established and developing children's advocacy centers in the United States.
I think the CAC is going to make a large difference, a huge difference in our community. They already have, I think. I mean, you know, by the numbers of families and children that they've seen already, they've made an impact, and that impact will just grow.
In our community, Leelanau, Grand Traverse, and the band, we're going to do something about it, and we're going to join together, and it doesn't matter what your political persuasion is or your faith or who you are, we can all join together and celebrate that this is our beautiful community and we want our children to be safe and secure.
The CAC gives parents and children that place to go where they are supported and safe, a place where they can find answers and comfort in the midst of difficult circumstances.
I was afraid to take that next step or report the abuse for the longest time, and then it wasn't fair to the kids anymore, and we needed help, and we took that step, and it was the best step ever.
I believe that the Traverse Bay Children's Advocacy Center is doing so well because of all the collaboration that's happening and all the different community agencies and community members that have embraced the center and wanted to make it into something that's beautiful and into something that is truly going to change our community.
The center is driven to lessen the trauma a child might experience in the interview process related to their abuse. Through the collaborative efforts of law enforcement, the prosecutor's office, child protective services, medical professionals, and local counseling agencies, the child finds a safe place under one roof. The primary goal is to ensure that children are not further victimized by the intervention systems designed to protect them.
The Child Protective Services and law enforcement were already functioning as a team, but there were pieces that were missing. We were having to be more than investigators, you know, counselors and social workers, and that's not what I'm trained to do. So the CAC really, it incorporates everything, and it makes sure that the families don't get lost in the system.
Investigations also use a team approach where the child is interviewed in a child-friendly facility by a trained forensic interviewer. They provide the framework that ensures a child tells the story just once and the child and family have support.
Prior to CAC, we would go out, we would interview the kids either at the school, we would either have If we didn't do that, we would have the non-offending parent bring the kids into the law enforcement center, the police department, and we would have to interview them there. Now, when you're trying to interview a child over such a sensitive case, having the interview done at the police department isn't always the best place to be. CAC now, the non-offending parent brings the child in to the child-friendly, child-centered environment of the Children's Advocacy Center, and you don't have that. You don't have to get over that hump of, oh my gosh, I'm at a police department.
The CAC goes to great lengths to ensure that comfort and that security and that safety. And having one interview in that kind of environment is going to assure and ensure appropriate information is imparted by that child to the interviewer.
Representatives from many disciplines meet to discuss and make decisions about the investigation, treatment, and prosecution of child abuse cases. Ultimately, the goal of everyone involved is to help a child heal physically and emotionally.
So for kids that have experienced a trauma or an abuse, and I think it's essential that they get that follow-up care, that support, that continued reassurance through this process. And when it doesn't happen, we see ongoing symptoms continue to linger.
I think the benefit with the CAC and CFS working together, along with other community resources, is that it provides a place for children to work through their trauma, gain some self-confidence, self-esteem, and just facilitate a resolution towards their victimization.
What the CAC offers besides the detection part of it and the prosecution part of it is coordination of counseling services so that they in a very real way can help a family mend. They can be put back together.
I think talking about abuse and neglect in bringing awareness will open the door for education. And I think education is very critical to the success of our kids and families, the understanding of what families are about.
I'm really passionate about the Child Advocacy Center because it's here to help build a community around children and to ensure that they're safe and that we're really looking at them as our future. And seeing children that have come through the center leave here with a smile on their face or leave here and say, can I come back? Can I come back and talk to you? That just is awesome.
The CAC treats everybody like a family member. I mean, you're not just a client or a waiting list. They feel like your family. You connect with them, and everybody's great there. So if you need them, go for it.
I think that these families deserve the best of the best, and I want to make sure that they get that.
Through the hard work of this community, we envision a future where abuse and neglect no longer exist.
It's a physical fact that darkness doesn't exist in the light. And so as we shine our light on this dark issue, it will go away.
In our language, we say Wabno Gamak. That means future leaders. And we look at what we're doing today to help develop the next generation of leaders. That's why it's so important, the efforts of the CAC and other organizations coming together. The empowerment, the well-being, the commitment to our children who will be our future leaders in our shared region.
There really isn't a more precious resource than our children. And I am compelled, I think there's a sense of urgency that if one more child is abused, it's one child too many. And if one more child doesn't have the opportunity to tell their story in a safe environment and to be healed, that's also one child too many.
If we can instill in our children the 7 grandfather teachings that we can universally share, love, respect, wisdom, humility, bravery, courage, and honesty, how powerful is that? Nurture our spirit, we can then truly begin nurturing our children's spirit. That's a legacy we can all build upon.